Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today, we will dive into the absolute explosion that just happened at Forrester Creations when Katie Logan finally learned the truth and delivered a slap to Ivy Forrester that will echo through soap history. So let me just start by saying my jaw is completely on the floor. I am typing this at lightning speed because the news just broke and my hands are literally shaking. And I don't even care if there are typos right now, because Katie Logan just did what we all have been screaming at our screens for someone to do. She slapped the absolute taste out of Ivy Forrester's mouth. And I mean a real soap opera handprint leaving slap. But we need to back up. We need to look at how we got to this massive explosion in the CEO office. Because this wasn't just a random fight. This was weeks of manipulation boiling over. And I am entirely here for it. It all started with Daphne Rose Walton. Good old Daphne. She finally broke. And honestly, it is about time. I have been so frustrated with her keeping the secret. But she finally cornered Elektra and spilled the whole ugly truth. She told her about the stolen letter. She told her about the WE necklace being tossed aside to fake Will's abandonment. And naturally, this information didn't just stay with Elektra, because secrets like this in Los Angeles spread faster than wildfire. And somehow, this devastating truth made its way to Katie Logan, Will's mother, the mama bear herself. And let me tell you, waking up Katie Logan's maternal instincts when her son has been wronged is the most dangerous thing you can do. So imagine Katie. She is already dealing with so much right now. She has this massive feud going on with her sister Brooke over the Logan fashion line. She is stressed. She is fighting to keep the Logan name on her new fashion house. She is dealing with Ridge and Brooke, trying to sabotage her and Bill's event. And then she hears this. She hears that her son, her precious Will, has been systematically destroyed emotionally by Ivy Forrester. Not by a misunderstanding, but by a calculated, cruel sociopathic plot. And Ivy did it just to push Elektra toward RJ Forrester because of some elitist Forrester agenda. And Katie just snapped. Something inside her completely broke. Or maybe it finally fixed itself. Because the Katie we saw today was a warrior. And I just have to talk about the sheer audacity of Ivy Forrester for a minute. Because when Katie found her, Ivy wasn't hiding. She wasn't looking guilty. No. Ivy was sitting right there in the Forrester Creations CEO office, just gloating. She was literally acting so smug and self-satisfied about her master plan to pair Elektra with RJ. She thought she had won. She thought she was untouchable. And I hate that kind of arrogance. I really do. It makes my blood boil. Ivy thinks because she is a Forrester, she can just play God with people's lives. She thinks she can just arrange relationships like she is arranging a jewelry display. And she completely forgot that Will Spencer has a mother who will burn the world down for him. So Katie marches down the hallway, and I can just picture it. The fierce walk, the eyes locked on the target. Katie didn't even bother to knock. She just threw the doors to the CEO office wide open. And there is Ivy, looking all proud of herself. And Katie didn't hold back. She didn't politely ask for a chat. She immediately confronted Ivy about the stolen letter. She laid it all out, and you would think Ivy would cower. You would think Ivy would apologize. But no. Ivy doubled down, which is just insane to me. Ivy actually tried to defend her actions, and her excuse, her big justification for ruining a young man's heart, she looked Katie right in the eye and said that Spencer men always bring pain. She actually used outdated, stereotypical family prejudices to justify her own sociopathic behavior. And I cannot even begin to tell you how angry that makes me. Because who is Ivy to judge? Look at the Forrester men. Look at Ridge. Ridge has caused more pain to the Logan women than anyone else in history. But Ivy has the nerve to say Spencer men are the toxic ones. It is pure hypocrisy. And Katie knew it. But Katie didn't just argue back. She didn't just yell. Because words were not enough for this level of betrayal. When Ivy tried to use that pathetic Spencer men excuse, Katie's hand just flew. It was pure instinct. It was the physical manifestation of a mother's rage. And she slapped Ivy. Hard. So hard that the sound probably echoed all the way down to the design room. And I am cheering. I am literally standing up at my desk cheering for Katie. Because Ivy needed that. Ivy needed a physical wake-up call to realize that she is not playing a game. These are real human emotions. And the reaction in the room was just pure shock. Everyone who was around any staff nearby, they were just stunned. You don't see Katie Logan get physical very often. Katie is usually the voice of reason. She's the one who tries to talk things out. But not today. Today, Katie was a lioness, and after the slap, the silence was deafening. Ivy was just standing there holding her cheek completely frozen, She was in absolute shock. She never expected Katie to strike her. She thought she could just hide behind her Forrester name and her snarky comments. But Katie shattered that illusion in 1 second. And then Katie roared. And she unleashed a verbal beatdown that was just beautiful to witness. She screamed at Ivy that she has absolutely no right to ruin her son's happiness. She yelled that Ivy's outdated prejudices do not give her a pass to play God, and Katie was so right. Why should Will suffer? Because of things Bill Spencer did in the past, Will is his own person. Will loved Elektra, and Ivy took that away from him based on a last name. It is disgusting, and Katie made sure Ivy knew just how disgusting it was. But this wasn't just a slap out of anger. This was a declaration of war. Katie looked Ivy dead in the eyes and made it clear that she is coming for her. This is no longer just about a stolen letter. This is about protecting her family from the toxic Forrester entitlement. Katie drew a line in the sand. She basically told Ivy that if you touch my son, I will destroy you. And I believe her. Katie has survived so much in her life. She has survived heart transplants and betrayals and massive corporate battles. Ivy is out of her depth here. Ivy woke up a sleeping giant. And now Ivy is terrified. You could see it. The realization finally hit her that she messed with the wrong mother. Ivy thought she was just dealing with young, naive Elektra. She thought she could just outsmart Will. But she never factored in Katie Logan. And that is Ivy's fatal flaw. She underestimates people. She thinks she's the smartest person in the room. But Katie just proved her wrong. And the best part is, Katie is not stopping with a slap. Oh no, Katie is taking this all the way to the top. Katie made it perfectly clear that she's going to pressure Steffi and Ridge to fire Ivy. And honestly, they should. Ivy committed a massive HR violation if you think about it. She used her position and her presence in the office to manipulate and destroy the personal lives of the employees. Because Will and Elektra and RJ are all tangled up in this company. And Ivy has been the puppet master causing a toxic work environment. Remember the physical brawl between Will and RJ? The one Ridge was so mad about, well, that brawl is entirely Ivy's fault. She fueled that fire. She pushed RJ to hate Will even more. So Ridge has to fire her, right? But here's the thing. I don't trust Ridge. Ridge is a massive hypocrite. We just saw Ridge give RJ a lecture about keeping personal feelings out of the office. Ridge acted all high and mighty, telling his son that Forrester Creations is a fashion house, not a boxing ring. Okay, Ridge, so what are you going to do about your niece? Your niece who literally stole personal mail to orchestrate a breakup on company time. If Ridge doesn't fire Ivy, he is proving once again that Forresters get away with murder while everyone else gets punished. And I will lose my mind if Ridge protects Ivy. And what about Steffi? Steffi is the co-CEO. She is supposed to be the strong, independent boss. But Steffi is currently panicking over Sheila Carter. Steffi is so distracted by her mother-in-law drama that she might not even want to deal with this Ivy situation. But Katie is not going to let it go. Katie's going to march right into Steffi's office next and demand action. And I hope Steffi listens. Because if Steffi keeps Ivy around, she is basically endorsing Ivy's behavior. She is telling Will and Katie that their pain doesn't matter. And that will only make the Spencer versus Forrester feud explode even more. Let's talk about Will for a second. Poor Will. He has been silently grieving this relationship. He thought Elektra just didn't want him. He thought she threw his necklace away. He has been carrying this heavy burden of rejection. And he even started pushing Melissa Dillon away because he was so confused. And now he is going to find out that his own mother had to go into the CEO office and physically fight for his honor. On one hand, Will is going to be so vindicated. He is going to realize Elektra didn't hate him. But on the other hand, Will's wrath is going to be apocalyptic. If Katie slapping Ivy was bad, just wait until Will gets his hands on RJ and Ivy. Because RJ knew. RJ has been complicit in this toxic alliance with Ivy. RJ has been using Ivy's manipulation to slide right into Elektra's life. And Will already hates RJ, we know that. RJ just admitted that his disdain for Will is deep-seated and generational. It goes back to the Ridge and Bill rivalry. So RJ and Will are already a powder keg, and Daphne's confession is the match. Katie's slap is the explosion. The whole office is going to burn down with this drama. And I have to point out the absolute mess that is the Logan-sister dynamic right now. Because while Katie is fiercely defending Will against the Forresters, what is Brooke doing? Brooke is actively encouraging RJ to go after Elektra. Brooke is literally cheering on the very toxic entitlement that Katie is fighting against. Brooke is enabling RJ's bratty behavior. And Katie knows this. So when Katie slapped Ivy, I honestly think part of that anger was directed at Brooke. It was Katie's way of striking back against the whole system that constantly puts the Logans second to the Forresters. Katie is refusing to back down on her fashion line. She's refusing to drop the Logan name. And now she is refusing to let Ivy step on her son. Katie is in her absolute power era right now, and I am obsessed with it. For years, Katie has been the sister who gets walked on. She gets her heart broken by Bill. She gets overshadowed by Brooke. But not anymore. This Katie is fierce. This Katie demands respect. And if she has to slap a Forrester in the CEO office to get it, then so be it. But let's look at Ivy's psychology here. Why is she like this? Why does she care so much about who Elektra dates? I think Ivy's projecting her own miserable failures onto her niece. Ivy has never had a truly successful, stable relationship that didn't end in disaster. So she looks at Elektra and Will, and she sees pure, innocent love. And Ivy hates it. She wants to control it. She wants to mold Elektra into a mini version of herself. And she uses the Spencer Men excuse to justify her own bitter jealousy. It is pathetic. It really is. Ivy is a grown woman playing high school games with stolen letters. And the fact that she got caught by Daphne, of all people, is just poetic justice. Daphne, who has been agonizing over this secret. Daphne, who took a negative pregnancy test and realized life is too short to carry toxic secrets. Daphne finally did the right thing. And it gave Katie the ammunition she needed. I just hope Elektra is paying attention to all of this. Elektra was horrified when Daphne told her the truth. She cornered Ivy too. But Katie's intervention takes this to a whole new level. Elektra needs to see that Will's family actually cares about him. Will's mother fights for him. Meanwhile, RJ's family just manipulates people. If Elektra still chooses RJ after all of this, I will officially write her off as a lost cause. How could you look at RJ? Knowing he is aligned with a woman who stole your private letter and still want to kiss him, it makes no sense. Elektra needs to run back to Will and beg for forgiveness. She needs to thank Katie for standing up for their love. Because Katie is the only adult in this building acting like a real protector right now. And think about Bill Spencer. When Bill finds out that Katie slapped Ivy to defend their son, oh my god. Bill is going to fall in love with Katie all over again. Bill respects strength. Bill respects a fighter. And hearing that his ex-wife marched into enemy territory and physically assaulted a Forrester to protect a Spencer, Bill is going to be thrilled. This might actually be the catalyst that brings Bill and Katie closer together. They are already working on the Logan fashion line together. Bill is supporting her against Brooke. And now they have this shared mission to protect Will from Ivy and RJ. It is the perfect storm for a reunion. But the media fallout is going to be messy. Because Ivy is not going to take this slap lying down. She is humiliated. She is cornered. And a cornered animal is dangerous. Ivy might try to press charges. She might try to spin the narrative and play the victim. She will probably run to Ridge crying, saying Katie assaulted her unprovoked. But there are too many witnesses to the truth now. Daphne knows. Elektra knows. The secret is out. Ivy cannot hide behind her lies anymore. The stolen letter is a fact. The discarded necklace is a fact. Ivy is exposed. And I just want to sit back and watch Steffi squirm when Katie demands Ivy's firing. Steffi loves to talk about loyalty and family, but Steffi also claims to care about the integrity of Forrester Creations. Having an executive who steals from employees and fabricates breakups is a massive liability. If the press got hold of this, it would be a PR nightmare. Forrester executive sabotages employee love lives. It sounds like a trashy tabloid headline. Steffi has to act. She has to fire Ivy to protect the company, but it will kill her to give Katie Logan a victory. And I am going to savor every single second of Steffi's internal conflict. So what happens next, tomorrow's episode, is going to be explosive. We're going to see the immediate aftermath of the slap. We are going to see Katie breathing heavy, standing over a cowering Ivy. We are going to see Ridge rushing in to break it up. And I fully expect Ridge to yell at Katie, because Ridge always defends his blood. But Katie won't care. Katie has the moral high ground, and she knows it. She will look Ridge in the eye and tell him exactly what kind of snake he's employing. And Will. We have to see Will's reaction. Will has been trying to be the bigger person. He even told Melissa Dillon he wanted to fix things. And Dillon, by the way, just moved out of his house to give him space to heal. Dillon sacrificed her own living situation because she felt guilty. And now, Will is going to find out that his heartbreak was entirely manufactured. Will is going to snap. If Will and RJ's first fight was a shoving match, their next fight is going to be a bloodbath. Because RJ is standing in the way of Will and Elektra's stolen time. I am just so overwhelmed by how good this writing is right now. It is raw, it is messy, it is everything we want from a soap opera. No more boring boardroom meetings about fabric. We have actual physical altercations driven by deep emotional betrayals. We have mothers fighting for their sons. We have generational feuds reigniting. The Spencers versus the Forresters is back in full swing. And Katie Logan is leading the charge with a slap heard around the world. So please sound off in the comments. Do you think Katie was right to slap Ivy? Because I absolutely do. Do you think Ridge will actually fire Ivy? Or will he protect his niece like a typical Forrester hypocrite? And how bad is Will going to beat up RJ when he finds out the truth? I am typing so fast my keyboard is smoking. But I need to know your thoughts. This is the drama we have been waiting for. Katie Logan just secured her spot as the MVP of the week. And Ivy Forrester just learned a very painful lesson about messing with the Spencer man's mother. Stay tuned because this war is just getting started.